When you hear about a new AI in sports, you probably think about the code, the algorithms, the data. But today, we're looking at a system where the story isn't just about the tech, it's about the architect. We're talking about a mind that's equally at home winning basketball championships and building high-stakes AI. Let's dive into how that very specific combination is creating a whole new kind of advantage.
All right, if you're a coach or you work in an athletic department, let me ask you, does this feel familiar? We are absolutely drowning in data right now. Stats, video clips, advanced metrics, it's everywhere. But the real trick, the real challenge, is turning all that noise into actual usable intelligence that helps you win.
In fact, there's a name for this problem: analysis paralysis. It's that feeling of being frozen because you have so much information that you can't make a clear, confident call. It's a huge issue, and it hits even the most successful programs out there.
So the solution isn't just another dashboard or piling on even more data points. No. The real breakthrough, according to the sources we're digging into, is a completely new kind of system, one built from the ground up by someone who has a very, very rare combination of skills.
So let's start with part one of this story, the engineering side. Because we need to be clear, this is not just some simple sports app. This thing is built on a serious, hardcore foundation of applied artificial intelligence.
The man behind it is named Jenga Busaja. And the most important thing to know about him is that he's a builder. This isn't some academic theorist. He's a guy who actually creates and deploys complex, high-stakes AI products into the real world. And his resume really speaks for itself, right? He runs his own AI agency, he's built an incredibly complex AI platform to analyze risk in crypto, and he scaled the Keisha News Network. This is a seasoned pro. His entire approach is even based on a deep strategic framework he calls planetary chess, which is all about navigating these incredibly complex systems.
His whole philosophy is wrapped up in this one phrase: intelligence is you. The goal here isn't for the AI to replace a coach's brain, not at all. It's designed to be a tool that amplifies the coach's own intelligence, their own intuition.
But here's the thing that really sets him apart. It's one thing to build AI. It's another thing entirely to deeply understand its flaws, its blind spots, where it can go wrong. And that, right there, is absolutely essential if you're going to build a system you can actually trust when the game is on the line.
He's actually done extensive research on the limitations of AI models, how they can be biased or just totally miss real-world context. And because he understands those weaknesses so well, he built Scoutmaster AI from day one to avoid being a black box. One of those systems that just spits out an answer without telling you why. This thing is built for trust.
Okay, so that's the engineering genius. Now, let's pivot, because this is where the story gets really unique. We're leaving the world of code and heading straight to the hardwood, to the world of elite, competitive basketball. And this is the core of the whole thing. Scoutmaster AI is not some tech product that was just adapted for sports. No, its very DNA, its soul, comes from a deep, authentic, lived-in understanding of the game of basketball.
36-0. What does that mean? Well, that was the final record of his high school basketball team. A perfect, undefeated state championship season. So we're not talking about someone who just watches games on the weekend. We're talking about someone who has competed and won at a truly elite level.
I mean, his basketball pedigree is absolutely legit. He played on that championship team with Kendrick Perkins, who went on to a long NBA career. He learned the game from Texas Hall of Fame coaches. He's been inside the pressure cooker where winning cultures are forged. But of all those incredible experiences, the source material says the one that was most critical to building this AI was his time on the scout team in college at Prairie View A&M. Now, if you've never been on a scout team, let me tell you, it's a relentless grind. Your job every single week is to become your next opponent. You don't just learn a few of their plays. You have to internalize their entire offensive and defensive system, their tendencies, their mindset. That hands-on, in-the-weeds intelligence gathering, well, that became the blueprint for this entire AI.
So this is where it all comes together. This is where those two separate worlds, the elite engineer and the elite basketball mind, fuse into one. Let's look at how that combination created a system that literally thinks like an entire coaching staff.
What you get is this multi-agent system. So instead of just one big AI, it's actually a team of specialized AIs that work together, just like a real staff. You've got the chronicler grabbing the raw data, the analyst finding the hidden patterns, the strategist drawing up game plans, and then you have the most interesting one of all, the warlord. We'll come back to him in a second.
And critically, this whole thing is built on that foundation of trust we talked about. To kill that black box problem, the system gives you a traceable chain of reasoning. It literally shows you its work. So as a coach, you can see exactly how it got to an insight, which means you can actually trust it.
Another key part of the design is something called human-in-the-loop curation. Now that sounds complex, but it's pretty simple. It just means the system isn't just mindlessly scraping every bit of data out there. Instead, there's a process that makes sure the AI is fed meaningful context, the kind of important little details that a veteran human scout would pick up on.
All right. All of this builds to the system's most revolutionary feature. This is where the AI goes beyond just stats and X's and O's to give you what the source material calls a true psychological edge.
Say hello to the Warlord agent. Its only job is to analyze the mental and psychological state of your opponent. We're moving way beyond the box score here.
The Warlord is looking for totally different things. It's trying to identify the power dynamics on the other team. It's pinpointing which players are mentally fragile. It's even coming up with specific tactics you can use to demoralize your opponent and push them to their psychological breaking point. This is next-level stuff.
So when you put it all side by side, the contrast is crystal clear. Other systems are giving you descriptive data from a black box. Scoutmaster AI is offering an applied philosophy with reasoning you can trace. It's not about adding more noise. It's about giving you a true, measurable psychological edge.
So we'll just leave you with this question from the source material to chew on. In a game that's decided by inches and seconds, what's more valuable? Knowing what your opponent is probably going to do next, or knowing exactly what it takes to make them break?